So this is going to be a tutorial video about how to make tutorial videos. And I'm going to give you 14 steps, and if I forget to name them as I go, forgive me, there's a handout you can download. And I'm going to begin by step one is, when you make a tutorial video, know what you know. Because you know things that you don't even realize you know. And unless you're aware of all of them, once you try to teach, you'll run into problems. So let me illustrate what I'm talking about. There's things you know when you're playing your instrument, including fingering, dexterity, rhythm, chord structures, little flicks and licks and runs and phrasing, syncopation, using your weak fingers in ways that you've strengthened over years of playing, knowledge of theory. The more you realize the stuff that you know, the easier you will be able to understand what to focus on when you're teaching. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to use this as my example today. Let's say I'm going to teach that. I've been doing that chord progression for so long, it's just in my blood. I don't even realize, well, how many chords even is that? So first you got to figure out, oh my gosh, that's really only 3 chords. And then how many times do you play each chord? I don't even know. So figure out the stuff you don't realize that you know. So it's actually 8 hits, and they're all in the corner notes, but we'll get to that in a minute. That's step one. Step two, decide what level you're aiming at. Are you going to be teaching every note of the song, every run? If it's a complicated song on the radio or on a CD, or are you trying to emulate everything the artist does, or just get the basic kind of groove, chord progression, rhythm out? Third thing is, know your audience. Are you going to be teaching beginners, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? Or are you going to be teaching intermediate, or are you going to be teaching advanced? Fourth thing is, stay focused and edit yourself. The thing that I can't stand when I watch these videos is someone who starts and goes, oh, today I'm going to teach you this chord progression. It's been so inspiring to me over the years. It's Latin in flavor, and some of the other tutorial videos on YouTube, they just suck, and this one's going to be great. And just cut it, just edit it yourself way down. All right, fifth thing is, give us a map at the beginning of the video. Where are we going? What are we covering? And you don't have to give us the map. There's a map in your head usually, which is just the structure of the song: verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, end. But have a map for sure. And if you give it to us sometimes ahead of time, that is really good. All right, number 6, things you're going to cover in this video. Well, you're going to cover the rhythm of the progression of the song. You're going to cover the chord voicings, what inversions and stuff, chord structures, the voice leading, how is the voice, how is the chord and the fingering of the chord tracing out the melody line the singers sing. Fingering, you want to cover that. And if you don't start with finger 2, you won't have enough fingers at the end of the run. Things like that. Trouble spots you might run into in the song. Okay, the number 7 is, have your notes in front of you, so you can see that I have all my notes for this tutorial in front of me. Now, sometimes my notes are just this, scratches, but at least you have something, you know where you're going. And the next thing you're going to do is a dry run. Don't even have the camera on. Explain the song, use your fingerings, use your chords with no audience, just to kind of get yourself talking. Okay, number 9, camera setup. With the video setup, you want to figure out what's the best angle to record at. If you had a way to have this angle, this would be great, because it shows you very clearly where you're pressing the keys. And then you'd have to get back far enough to contain the scope of octaves you want. That's really hard to do. I usually record from above, and you can see I have designed this little, I have a shelf, and I've cut out a piece of cardboard with a hole in it that fits the iPhone. So it's a total do-it-yourselfer. Didn't cost me any money, but it was way better than the $40 gadget that Greg bought me that didn't really work. So figure out your setup, make sure you have the right distance to the keys. I can do 4 octaves here and some change. You want to make sure you have enough range so your fingers are visible. Oh, this is important. Get rid of all the extraneous crap on your thing. Look, tax documents. Do you really need to see Trevor's taxes? Let's throw that away and just make it clean and neat. Maybe 1 sheet of paper if that's your thing. Circle of fifths, but it looks kind of crumply, so I won't even use that. Okay, make it clean. Audio, you want to get rid of extraneous noises in the room. So if your family's around, tell them to wear their headphones, or the snare drum, I always undo the snare so it doesn't feed back during the video. Turn my Bluetooth speaker off. And then I'm ready. All right, so now we are on step 10, the outline. You might want to play at the beginning the groove to whet people's appetite. Let them know that you know how to play and it's going to be fun, and this is the final product they're aiming for. Give your purpose statement at the beginning of the video. Again, no blather, just 10 seconds. Then if you want to give us the map of where we're going, that's great. And then you start section 1, and you're just going to go chord by chord, fingering left hand, right hand, and so on. So let me use this as an example, this song that I just played. This is a 3-chord sequence, and let me start with the left hand. So what am I doing there? I'm going to explain it. Again, know what you know. It's not as simple as it seems, because it has fingering, it has rhythm, and it's got the correct notes. So we're going to go G to B flat to C, and then B flat to A, E flat to D, F sharp to G. And what rhythm do I use? Well, I often use octaves. Now, octaves are a little bit more of a complicated level. You don't have to do octaves to be able to play this. You could just use fingering. I prefer octaves. So you might, in your video, give options for the level of the player. So let's see, if we just did notes, it'd be... All right, so that's going to be... I'm going to go 3, 2, 1 on the fingering. Then I'm going to go 2, 3. And then thumb, thumb. And then I might go 4, 3. Okay, now the rhythm I would do separately. Once you've taught, once you've gone over the notes, let's do the rhythm. And that's going to be kind of a calypso, where the changes are on the and of 2 and 4. And so you might be going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The first time you make the video, you might not even realize what the count is, and you'll be making the video and you'll stumble trying to explain it because you don't know the count. So figure that stuff out ahead of time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, I did it wrong there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So getting the hits on the and of 2 and 4 are important for this song. So I've explained the rhythm of the left hand, and I've explained the fingering of the left hand and the option to do octaves. I just realized that another thing I know I didn't know, or that I know I didn't know that I know, is that I'm holding the chords longer, the notes that are associated with the chords longer than I am the passing tones. That's kind of an interesting fact that you might include in your video. Okay, so now let's move to the right hand. And the right hand is cool because it's just it's just quarter notes, which makes it really easy in a way to play by itself. But let's talk about the 3 different chords. The first chord is a G minor, and it's going to be a second inversion. All right, the second chord is going to be a C minor. So it's only 3 notes. The first chord is 4 notes. All right, third chord is also 3 notes. It's a D7. Okay, so you play the G minor 7, or just the G minor. You're going to play that twice. Then you're going to play the C minor 4 times, and the D7 twice, and then you're back to the beginning. So it's just, and I think I just realized that I didn't know something I knew. So as I was teaching, I encountered the very thing I was trying to warn all of you about when making a tutorial video, and that was step number 1. That a lot of times you know things you don't even realize you know. So I know intuitively how to do the rhythm, but I don't know how to explain it because I don't know the count. So as I stumbled at that part of the video, I had to stop the video and take a pen and paper out and write it down. I made myself some notes here where I wrote down how the left and right hand work together in my own sloppy way that I could understand. And now I'm going to try to use that to do a better job of teaching that difficult putting together the left and the right. So here's what I learned. The right hand does go on quarter notes. It goes on the 1 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that fits with the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the way they fit together, and hopefully I won't stumble, is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So what you're doing there is there's a couple places where the chord changes in the left hand before it changes in the right. That's kind of cool. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See, the C comes in the left hand on the 4 of the preceding measure, where the C comes in the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? And now the D is going to come before in the left hand before it does in the right. So so that's kind of the teaching section, step 10. And you learn how to teach by teaching. So what I would do is I'm also step 11 is try to find patterns that you can refer to, especially if it's a longer song and you've done this 1-6-2-5 turnaround in the first verse. You don't want to have to reteach the 1-6-2-5 turnaround. Name it during verse 1 and then say, and then we do the 1-6-2-5 turnaround again. All right, step 12, drafts. You record the video, you watch it, and you go, man, I could do this better. Which, by the way, is what I did with this video, because the first version of this video, I was using this song, which is way more complicated of a pattern. That would take too long. All right, the 13th step is cut out extraneous stuff and add titles, if you can, to illustrate chords or patterns or note names or little corrections you need to make to the to your verbal processing. And then have fun with it. Step 14. If you can make it kind of fun and funny anywhere along the way, more power to you. So hopefully those 14 steps help you.